This is an old-fashioned with New Riff bottled in bond rye. Since it's bottled in bond, we know it's 100 proof and has to be aged at least 4 years. New Riff is known for experimentation, hence the name. This is a new riff on the standard 95% rye mash bill. What makes it different? A more commonly found rye mash bill, and the one used by MGP, is 95% rye, 5% malted barley. New Riff swaps out the 5% malted barley for 5% malted rye. It's a bold, spicy, and delicious rye. I'm feeling inspired to make an old-fashioned that's a little different than the usual, so I'm going to use Orgeat and an orange cordial instead of the typical Demerara syrup. These are made by Liber Co, but you could make your own if you wanted. I'm also going to use chili lime bitters instead of the traditional Angostura bitters. So you can make an old-fashioned right in your glass, but I'm going to make it in a mixing glass and you'll see why in a minute. I'm going to do 2 ounces of the New Riff bottled in bond rye, and I'm going to do 1 bar spoon each of my syrups. I'm going to start out with the Orgeat. This is an almond syrup, and I typically use this in tiki cocktails, but I thought it would be really fun to try it in an old-fashioned. And I'm just going to put a little bar spoon of it. You could put more if you want it sweeter. And old-fashions typically are garnished with an orange peel, but instead of doing that, I'm going to use an orange cordial just for the fun of it. And then I'll do a few droppers of these chili lime bitters. Angostura bitters are the more traditional choice. I'm going to stir all these until I start getting like a nice kind of frost on my mixing glass. And now for my favorite part, the guitar ice. So I just got this really awesome ice mold. I think these are actually made for popsicles, but they have an electric guitar that looks kind of like a Les Paul, an acoustic guitar, and a bass guitar. So for this drink, I'm going to use the electric guitar. I think that's my favorite, but I would like to make a video in the future where I make 3 old fashions kind of themed around the 3 guitars. So if you have ideas for that, leave a comment below and maybe I'll use your idea. So now that I have my electric guitar ice, I'm going to strain my old fashioned into my glass. And sometimes I use Luxardo cherries, but I got this big thing of Amarena cherries at Costco. They're pretty good too, so I'm just gonna drop 3 of those, syrup and all, into my drink. And I love this ice because you can also kind of use it as like a stir. Like it's really cool. So let's give the drink a try. It's so good. It's a little cloudier looking than your typical old fashioned, but the flavor is awesome. The almond and orange go really well with the cinnamon spice and toasted oak notes from the whiskey. And the peppery notes of the rye go really well with these chili lime bitters. Speaking of these bitters, these are made by Meijer, a chain of superstores found in the Midwestern United States. They're a really fun choice for this, since I think of Newport, Kentucky, where New Riff is from, as kind of a gateway between the southern United States and the Midwest. So let me know what your favorite way of making an old-fashioned is. Do you prefer rye or bourbon? Leave a comment below. As always, if you enjoyed this content, subscribe and hit that bell. Cheers!